Okay, it's George Stendhal. I'm here, and I'm going to discuss a few things. And I'm going to show why I am right, what I am talking about. Now, for anybody who doesn't know, okay, clay begins to crystallize at around 2052 degrees to 2192 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, now what's that got to do with anything? Right here, I'm going to go here. Let's say this is one of the rocks that you find. Okay. When the rock I bring out from the ground, when the rock that I pull out of the ground has clay that has been crystallized around it, just in the area around the rock, not further out, just in the area around the rock. If the clay is crystallized, that means that that rock that landed in that spot at one point was 2052 degrees or 2192 degrees. Clay doesn't crystallize in the ground by itself. You have to have heat to crystallize clay. But like I said, no, people want to doubt. They want to doubt, and it's okay. I'm trying to show people the proof is there, but you got this thing called confirmation bias, and it's where people refuse to believe anything else, no matter what evidence you can produce. People just refuse to believe it can happen because of the way that they learn. Now, can scientists be wrong about meteorites? I asked that question. Yes, scientists can be wrong about meteorites as well as other discoveries. Scientists often need to revise or retract their research as new evidence comes in. But as to whether they're going to accept the new evidence, that's up to them. Are all meteor showers the same? No, meteor showers are not the same. Okay, these are questions that you can ask. If there is a large meteor shower, could a whole meteor hit the ground? Okay, this is what it says. No, even in a large meteor shower. Then it says it is extremely unlikely. That word and those words and phrases that I'm telling you, they say it is extremely unlikely for a whole meteor-sized piece to hit the ground. Okay, extremely unlikely means unlikely to happen, but you're not sure. When you say extremely unlikely to happen, that means you're not sure that it can happen. It could happen. And this is the point that I'm trying to get across to everybody and the people and the experts out there in the world. You've got to go back and recheck some of this stuff. If science makes an error, it can significantly affect the findings, potentially rendering them inaccurate or misleading. And this is the point that I'm trying to get across to people. You could have learned inaccurately, and you could be misleading people if you don't start from the beginning where everybody should have started, which is a whole rock. Now, if we were wrong about meteorites, we might not understand how meteorites impact Earth, the origins of the solar system, or how meteorites affected life on Earth. And this is what I'm trying to explain to people. When you do certain things, if you are wrong, it throws everything off after that point. You know, I don't know how much clearer I can be on things. You know, but like I said, people just don't want to accept the fact that there's a possibility that we could be wrong. Now, as far as meteorites exploding in the sky, I have an idea about that. Okay, meteors have sodium and potassium in them. Okay, when sodium and potassium are heated and mixed, they form a liquid alloy called NaC, a sodium-potassium alloy, which is highly reactive and can ignite spontaneously in air due to its extreme reactivity with oxygen and water vapor. Now, say your meteor comes in, okay, and you have sodium and potassium in it. Okay, the sodium isn't going to stay on one side, and the potassium isn't going to stay on the other. They're going to end up mixing. And when they mix, and they hit that cold air or moisture, that's when your explosion occurs. And that's why the explosion is so large. You can look up sodium, potassium, the NaC is what it's called, and watch people experiment with it and see how just a little teeny dot can be so explosive. But like I said, people don't want to take these things into consideration. But that goes back to me where I'm sure I was right to begin with about moisture and cold air coming in contact with metal. Because potassium and sodium, when they're mixed, they form a liquid alloy. Okay? A liquid alloy is metal. And I'll leave that at that point. Now, how do I find this stuff out? Okay, I find this stuff out from examining the scientific evidence that's out there. But some of my examining of some of the scientific evidence tells me that somebody made a mistake. And one simple mistake, it can screw everything up. Now, another reason why I think I'm right. There's this here. This material here. Okay? I have a sneaky suspicion that this is what material from a comet looks like. Now, we'll take the same piece here, and you hold it up to the light. The closer to the light that this piece gets right here, the closer to the light, the brighter that is. That type of bright light is what you see in the sky from a comet. Now, how can something like this, when held up to the light, become so bright like that? You can't see anything on it. It's so bright. But like I said, you know, people can believe what they want to believe. I'm going to keep doing it because I'm on the right track. And it's just a matter of time. Now, if anybody out there who's really, really good would check out a lot of these things, what I'm saying. Now, as far as your weather patterns go, I'm going to make a prediction here because of certain things that I have found. And I've gone back and I double checked and I've looked at things and compared things. I'm going to make 4 predictions here. One is that sometime in the coming future, could be within the next year or two, there's going to be a massive tornado outbreak. I don't want to go into explaining how I know, because like I said, your experts out there, they're just not going to want to believe that this is going to happen. So I'm going to post this ahead of what is to come. The temperatures in the summer will get significantly hotter. There will be periods when the weather will be minus 20 and minus 30 degrees below zero. These events are going to happen. And the fourth one is you're going to see hurricanes like you have never seen before. They're going to get far worse than the ones you're seeing now. But I'm serious about the temperatures and that massive tornado outbreak. I can almost guarantee that that's going to happen. And it has to do with some of the stuff that I've been researching. And it all comes from this. When rock comes in, it lands. If you can find a whole rock, it points you towards things and makes you study other things. And it also makes you study the impossible. If you do not factor in that the impossible can happen, that is the biggest mistake you can make in your life. Because we all know that the impossible does happen. Now, you scientists, you can keep ignoring this out here, but I'm putting my findings out ahead of time. And if I'm correct, because people didn't want to listen, and those people out there that don't want to listen to what I'm saying, or even take a chance and examine my evidence, the people that die, it's going to be your fault. Because you didn't want to listen. And I'm telling it like it is. I'm being honest. I'm trying to give people a warning ahead of time. And I'll call that good.